Okay, so today we get to talk about one of my very favorite things of all time. I think it is so fun. I have always loved order of operations. It is so much fun, and I think I like it because I like doing things in steps. Like first do this, then do this, then do this. And I like neat work. Like I just like things being neat. So I personally have always loved order of operations because it is literally a set of rules and you go step by step by step. And as long as you follow those rules and you go step by step by step, you get to the final answer. And it is so much fun. I have always loved it. I hope you love it too. I hope you don't dislike it. I hope that you become to love it just as much as I have loved it and still do. Okay, anytime I see an order of operation problem, I totally geek out. All right, so first, a numerical expression. This is one of your vocabulary cards that you've got in the little baggie in your math section of your accordion folder. But a numerical expression is basically just an expression that has numbers and operations. It does not contain an equal sign. Okay, if it has an equal sign, it typically also has a solution, and that is considered an equation. So expression does not include that. It's just sometimes numbers, and sometimes it can also be letters. You'll see examples of those later on. Evaluate. The word evaluate just means solve. You're figuring out the answer to an expression. And you can use a set of rules called order of operations. So if you look below, you have 1, 2, 3, 3 steps. Okay, it says perform operations in parentheses. Step 2, multiply and divide from left to right. And step 3, add and subtract from left to right. Okay, there is an acronym that I like to use, and when I was growing up, they called it just please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And I'll never forget it. But there's also something that I teach a lot of my kids, and it is PEMDAS. Okay, so PEMDAS can also be renamed as GIMDAS because we not only have parentheses, you'll see in a couple lessons that we also have other types of grouping symbols. So those GIMDAS stands for grouping symbols. But typically you'll see PEMDAS because it's usually parentheses that we're looking at. Okay, so we've got parentheses. Anybody know what the E would be? It's not listed here anywhere. London? The E. Sorry, not the P, the E. Uh-huh.
An equation?
Not equation. What else? What else starts with
Evaluate?
the E? Not evaluate. It's up here. Jeb?
Example?
Not example.
I know.
Exponent. Okay, so you have parentheses, you have exponents, you have multiply and divide, and then you have add and subtract. What am I doing with my hands? There was a song, and I will play it for you in a little bit. Anybody know the Cupid Shuffle song?
I think I do.
Okay, but it's not the Cupid Shuffle. It's the order of operations song. So basically, and I will play it for you. I played it for my Math 6 kids too. When I taught middle school, I played it, and my kids just ate it up. Like, it's silly, but we like to be silly, and they remember it. So literally, every time I go to a wedding or I am somewhere and they play the Cupid Shuffle, my husband thinks I'm weird because I'm like, parentheses, 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 exponent, 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 exponent. Now molt or div, molt or div. Now add or subtract, add or subtract. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, it's called the order of operations Cupid Shuffle. Like, do you not know it? Because it's really cool. Okay, I know, it's kind of nerdy. It's fine. But I guarantee you, if you hear it, you're going to remember it. And we do motions with it. So I'll play it for you so that you can see that and hear that. Okay, so we are evaluating. What does it mean to evaluate again? Yes.
Make sure you got everything.
Kinda. You do want to make sure you got everything, for sure. One word though. Let's simplify it. If we evaluate something, what am I doing?
How many times that? One word.
One word starts with the S. If I evaluate an expression, I am going to blank it. Solve it. I'm going to solve the expression. So evaluate means solve. Okay, so looking at my example here, I have 30 divided by parentheses 3 plus 7 times 2. So parentheses, parentheses. I want to do that first. So they replace the parentheses with 10. Then I mult or div, whatever comes first, reading it left to right. Guys, we learned to read books and words from left to right. You saw the math problem in the same order. So whatever comes first, looking at this, would it be 30 divided by 10 or would I do 10 times 2? What comes first? Very good, Vala. 30 divided by 10, which is 3, and then I multiply times 2, so my answer is 6. So let's look at a couple of practice problems together. Okay, number 1. It says 24 plus 4 divided by 2. If I'm using PEMDAS, and I like to write this down a lot of times on my paper, especially whenever I was starting out, because I would use it as like a checklist. Do I have any parentheses I need to solve in number 1?
No.
No. What about exponents? No, we won't in this lesson, actually. We will not have exponents right now, okay? Do I have any multiplication or division?
No. Yes.
Yes, I do. So that's what I want to solve first. What is 4 divided by 2? 2. And then I'm going to bring down what I haven't used. Now, if I'm writing, you should also be writing, and you should also have exactly what I have where I have it. Okay, I know that sounds really crazy. But as our problems get a lot longer and we have a lot more steps, it is super important that you know where things go and how you need to solve it, because you start getting lost in your math if you start trying to do things in your head. And then whenever you get the problem wrong, I cannot go back and show you where you made your mistake. So make sure you copy every step. Now, the last thing I do, I only have one operation, 24 plus 2, which is 26. So my answer is just 26. Now notice how when I write the answer down here, it kind of makes like a funnel or like a tornado or a slice of pizza. That's what all of your problems should look like. Your answer is always the tip of the pizza and you're funneling it down. Okay, number 2, what would I do first? The parentheses. What is 10 minus 3? 7. And then I'm going to bring everything down that I have not used yet. So I'm going to bring 12 and the plus sign and then the times 8. Notice how all I've done is replace what the parentheses equals. Everybody with me so far?
Yes.
Okay, so then what do? Do I add? I multiply. Good. So 7 times 8 is 56. Then I'm going to bring down the 12 and the plus sign because I haven't done anything with it yet. So the last thing I need to do is actually add those two numbers together, and that's going to equal 68. There's the tip of my pizza, and my answer goes over here in my box. Okay, we're going to do one more together. 2 more together. We're going to do number 3. 18 plus 23 plus 22. What do I do first inside the parentheses? Jason? Yeah, because I'm going to work it left to right. It's all addition, so I'm going to work left to right. So 18 plus 23 is going to be 31. What is 18 plus 23? I have to add my ones digits, so 8 plus 3 makes 11. And then I have to carry that 1, so I have 1 plus 1 plus 2, which is 41. And then 41 plus 22. Have I finished everything inside the parentheses yet? No. So all I'm going to do is just add the 22, keep my parentheses around it because I'm not done yet. I've only done one step inside the parentheses. I actually have 2. So now 41 plus 22, I still have to finish my parentheses, which is 63, and then divide by 9, which is 7. Okay, the last one we're going to do is number 7 together. Then I'm going to let you try them with your tables. Okay, what's 1/2 plus another half? 1. And then 1 times 5? 5. Notice how it all makes a slice of a pizza. Okay, when you do 4, 5, 6, and 8, I want yours to look the same way. Okay, one step at a time. So underline what you're solving. And then write the answer underneath it. And then bring everything down that you haven't used yet. Then do the next step. Okay, go ahead and work 4, 5, 6, and 8. Okay, so yes, we were missing some pizzas. So on number 4, if I'm looking at this one, what do I do first? Do I add, divide, or subtract? divide. So I'm underlining, and if you didn't do this, do it right now. And I know it seems so silly to ask you guys to show every little step to make the shape of the pizza, but your problems are very quickly going to begin getting longer. They're going to start getting longer. Once you involve exponents with it, they're even longer. Once you put them in fraction form, they're even longer. Once you get up into middle school and you start getting negative numbers and adding all of those things into it and fractions and decimals, it's even longer. So what we're doing is I'm not trying to annoy you guys by asking you to make a pizza. I'm trying to get you to develop really good habits, because if you develop a good habit now with simple numbers, whenever you get to the trickier numbers, you will have an easier time figuring out where mistakes might be found. Okay, so 56 divided by 7 is 8. Bring everything down for my next problem. I'm basically creating a brand new expression, yellow table. Did y'all all copy that? Okay. Now, will I add or subtract next?
You would
Either one.
Add, either one, or do I go in a certain order?
Go left to right.
I go left to right. So I'm going to do 14 plus 8, which is 22. Bring down the minus 6, and that's the last step I do, which is going to be 16. So 16 should be the final answer. 22 minus 6 is going to be 16. Not right now. Okay, number 5. It's all addition. All addition. So just left to right. 10 plus 10 is 20. 20 plus 7. My pizza is very short here. It should be 27. If you got the right answer, give yourself a pat on the back. But if you got the right answer and didn't show your pizza, then stop patting and start showing your pizza. Okay, number 6. What do I do first? Raise your hand if you can tell me what to do first. Okay, Jeff. Parentheses. So 45 plus 25. 70. 70 divided by 10 then is 7. So the tip of my pizza should be the answer. Okay, and then number 8. Parentheses first. 16 minus 6 is 10. Bring everything else down. Do I do 15 plus 10 or 10 times 1? 10 times 1, because it's multiplication, and multiply and divide comes before add and subtract when you're following the rules. So 10 times 1 is 10, and then I bring the 15 plus down, and then my final answer will be 25. Okay, moving along, now you will see that it says insert parentheses to make the statement true. So I'm trying to make number 9 equal 56. How do I make that equal 56? If I put parentheses around the 6 plus 2, what would that equal?
8.
And then if I did 8 times 7, will that equal 56? Yes. Okay, so I definitely want to put parentheses around 6 plus 2. That one's done. For number 10, I want to get 11 as my answer. Okay? If I do, you do, guys. If I drew parentheses, you should have the parentheses also, and some of us do not, so be sure you are following along with me, please. Okay, number 10. Where could I put the parentheses in order to get 11? It's going to take some trial and error because I've got a lot of operations here. Jack, what do you think? So if I did it around this 18 and 6, if I do 18 minus 6, what would that be? That would be 12. And then I could divide that by 2, right? Because if I got 12, then I'm left with 12 divided by 2 plus 5, and you have to divide first. So if I put it around 18 minus 6, that would be 12 divided by 2 plus 5. What's 12 divided by 2?
6.
And what's 6 plus 5?
11.
Does it work?
Yes.
Yes, it does. Okay. Y'all try 11 and 12 with your tables. Figure out where you think the parentheses would go, and then test it out to see if it works. Okay, on number 11, where did y'all put the parentheses?
4 minus 1.
The 4 minus 1, because 4 minus 1 is 3. Then I multiply next. So 2 times 3 is 6. And I add last, so 10 plus 6 is 16. Okay, what about number 12? I'm trying to get 32.
8 minus 4.
Okay, so we're going to try the 8 minus 4. So if I did 8 minus 4, that's going to equal 4. And then I'm left with 24 plus 4 divided by 2 times 4. So what would I have to do first in that problem?
24 plus 4.
Ooh. Division. So I would do 4 divided by 2, which is 2. And then 2 times 4, which is 8. And then 8 plus 24 equals 32. So does that work? Yes, it does. Very good. All right, number 13. Match each numerical expression with its value. You have to solve those and then draw a line to whichever one it works with. Or you can just write the answer next to it. So y'all with your tables, I want yellow and blue. I want y'all 2 groups. I want you to work on the first 2, these, okay? So yellow and blue. Y'all are doing these 2, and then I'm going to ask for your answers in a minute. Purple table, you're going to do these 2 here in the middle, the orange and the green. And then peach and teal table, y'all are going to do the last 2, this like pink and blue, okay? You're working at your own tables. I'm just going to call on somebody from each table to give me the answer. So you're not working together as tables, just with your own group. The first one, that peach one above the purple, so that we're looking at the peach and the purples. So that would be yellow and blue. So yellow table, tell me what y'all got for the peach problem, the very top left problem.
6.
Okay, they got 6. Blue table, did y'all also get 6?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody go ahead and write 6 next to, or just draw a little line, that's fine. Okay, so what they did is they did the parentheses 8 minus 5, which is 3. Then they divided 24 divided by 3 to get 8. Then they added 8 plus 8 to get 16, minus 10 is 6. Blue table, what is purple?
4.
Okay, 4. So they had to do 24 divided by 2 first to get 12, and then work left to right. 14 minus 12 is 2 plus 2, which is 4. Okay, purple table. One of y'all tell me what you got for orange.
I got
8, because 40 is what the parentheses equals. Divided by 4 is 10, minus 2 is 8. Okay, what else? What'd y'all get for green? If you're not purple table, I should not hear your voices because you are listening, you're being respectful of our purple friends. That sounds weird. Okay, purple table, what'd y'all get for green? Y'all said 5? Okay, because 7 times 2 is 14, and then 15 minus 14 is 1, plus 4 is 5. Perfect. Okay, peach table, what did y'all get for the pink problem?
We did blue.
Oh, y'all did a blue one? Okay, what'd y'all get for the blue problem?
9.
Okay, so then you would start with the division over here. 81 divided by 9 is 9. Then you have to do 9 times 1, which is 9. So 9 plus 9, which is 18, then minus 9 takes you back to 9. So lots of 9s. Okay, which means teal table,
It's 7.
it should be 7, because what do you have to do first?
18 divided by 3.
You have to do 18 divided by 3, which is 6. Then you have to do 23 plus 6 minus 22. So then you add 23 plus 6, which is 29, minus 22, and that does equal 7. Okay, perfect. All right, now we're comparing. So you're going to have to solve 2 separate expressions to figure out which one is larger. So in number 14, I do my division first. What's 6 divided by 3? 2. So 2 plus 2 means this is 4. Over here, 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 2 plus 3 is 5. Which one's bigger? Everybody's doing what I'm doing. So it should be less than. Number 15, 2 times 7. You have to do the multiplication first. So that's 14. So 8 plus 14 makes the left side 22. What would the right side be equal to? 20, very good. So I need to do the greater than symbol. Okay, woo, these ones can kind of be tricky, but we can do it because we're all mathematicians in here. So number 16, we're trying to figure out that missing blank. So 16 plus something divided by 3 has to equal 23. I know my final answer's got to be 23. Okay, I know I have to divide first. And whatever that answer is, if I add it to 16, it's going to give me 23. So what can I add to 16 to equal 23? What would I have to? 7. Okay, so whatever I put here, this answer together has to equal 7 because I know that 16 plus 7 is 23. So what can I start with and divide by 3 that equals 7?
21.
21, and that's my answer. On the next one, I'm trying to get 31 as my final answer. So that means I have to do 19 plus whatever this equals. So something times 4 plus 19 equals 31. So let's work backwards a little bit, and let's figure out what 31 minus 19 would be. 31 minus 19 should be 12. So whatever this equals here has to be equal to 12 because I know 19 plus 12 is 31. So what can I multiply by 4 that equals 12? 3. That's my answer. Okay, number 18 is 9 plus something divided by 3. Well, if I'm trying to get to 13 and I'm adding something to 9, what does this problem here have to equal to? 9 plus what equals 13? 4. So then how do I figure out what my missing number is if I know that something divided by 3 equals 4? 3 divided by 3 would be 1. Does that equal 4? So that won't work. We can do trial and error, or I can use my fact families. What's the opposite of divide? Times. Okay, the inverse operation of divide is multiply. So I'm going to do 4 times 3, and that gives me 12. Okay, now here I'm not adding this time. I notice I am subtracting something. So I have to subtract a number from 52 to equal 1. So what does that mean this must equal?
51.
Has to equal 51 because 52 minus 51 equals 1. Okay, now if I don't know, and now remember I'm subtracting it. Okay, so whatever I'm taking away, it has to equal 51. How do I figure out if I'm multiplying by 17? How could I figure out what I'm multiplying 17 by to equal 51? I could do trial and error, or I could divide 51 by 17. But what would my missing number be? What do I times 17 by to equal 51? Anybody know?
3 or 4?
Well, if I do 3, I know 3 times 7 is 21, so my number will end in a 1. So it's probably that, but let's just try it. 17 times 3. Is it 51? Yes, it is. So my missing number, this looks terrible, should be a 3. All right. And then number 20. Ooh, these are my fave. I love things like this. What? You don't like fruit and math? Okay. Let's start from the top. I have an apple. Listen, we're almost done, guys. We're almost done. Okay, we have an apple plus an apple plus an apple equals 36. So how do I figure out what the apple equals? I divide by 3. So what's 36 divided by 3? Okay, so an apple is equal to 12. All right, well, if this is 12, and I'm adding it to an orange times an orange to get 16, what must an orange be?
2.
2. Each orange is 2, because 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, well, now I know that I have an orange, which is 2, so something divided by 2 must equal 8. What can I divide by 2 that equals 8?
16.
16. So a banana is 16. Now I put it all together. I know that the apple was 12. Now I solve from left to right. So I have 12 times 2, which is 24, plus 16 times 2. What's 16 times 2?
56.
What's 16 times 2?
30.
32.
2.
And I'm going to add that to 24. And yes, you guys were telling me 56 is your final answer. Very good. All right. Put your books back on the shelf. That's all we have time for today.